On the day I was suddenly ordered to go on a business trip by my boss, I squeezed in time amidst work to drop off my luggage at the hotel where I'd be staying. It was there I saw something I couldn't believe. Why? Why is my husband here? And why is he with her, holding hands so firmly? Seeing their hands clasped together, my mind went blank, but at the same time I understood. I was betrayed by the people I trusted. Despite feeling so suffocated I could barely breathe, I began to think calmly about what I should do next. My name is Lynn. I'm a 28-year-old office worker. I joined a company related to the food industry, which I've been interested in since my university days, and I've worked passionately. Work was hard, but enjoyable, and it filled my days. 3 months ago, I married Julian, who works at a client company. Julian is 10 years my senior and epitomized the image of a competent adult man. At first, our relationship was strictly professional, and I never imagined it would turn romantic. But after persistent wooing from Julian, we started dating and got married within months. I thought I was the happiest woman in the world to be married to the kind and romantic Julian, at least until that moment. "Lynn, the dress shirt isn't ironed! What are you doing?" Julian complained the moment he got up in the morning. I did iron it, though," I replied in a fluster, and Julian sighed as he looked at me. "What part of this is ironed? Aren't you embarrassed to make me wear such a wrinkled shirt?" He showed me the shirt, pressing his point. I examined the shirt he handed me and said, "I thought I ironed it properly. I'm sorry. I guess I'm terrible at ironing." And I apologized for now. But the shirt didn't seem to have any wrinkles. It looked properly ironed, and I felt unsettled. "Shall we send them all to the cleaners from now on?" When I suggested that, Julian replied, "Dry cleaning? That's a waste of money. If you do it yourself, you can save. Don't try to take the easy way out." He ended the conversation and had me iron the shirt again. In the rush before leaving for work, I hurriedly re-ironed the shirt. Yet in the end, Julian wore a different one to work, leaving me speechless and astonished. My mind was in a turmoil. When we got married, we had agreed to share the household chores because we both had busy jobs. For the first month after our marriage, Julian did his share of the housework, but lately he hasn't done any at all. On top of that, if anything is even slightly to his displeasure, he has me redo it, just like earlier. I've asked him several times to help with the chores. Even a little would do, but "My work is hard. As a wife, it's natural to take care of all the household chores for your husband." That's what I was told. Despite having a busy job with overtime, it's hard to manage all the household chores by myself. Compared to Julian, I barely travel for work, but all jobs have their hardships. It's not really something to compare. That's all I wanted to say. But I didn't want to start a fight and create a hostile atmosphere, so I held back. Julian? He seemed to have changed. I thought so, at least. The Julian I knew was kind, never mean-spirited. But lately, he's been distant and constantly complaining. I was starting to feel worn out from our life together. Then one day, "Nina, what brings you here all of a sudden? It's not like you to drop by." After work, as I arrived home, I found my younger sister Nina had come over. Nina's a bit younger than me and currently a college student. She has the look of a modern college girl, but still holds a certain childlike charm and is skillfully sweet. I rarely saw her since she was usually busy with part-time jobs or hanging out rather than university, so her sudden visit piqued my curiosity. "Hey sis, long time no see." Nina was lounging on the sofa, as if she owned the place. "Nina, have some cake." Julian said this while hurriedly making coffee and serving Nina cake. Seeing this, I thought, we didn't buy any cake, did we? Glancing in the kitchen, I noticed a box from a famous upscale cake shop. "Wow, Julian, I've wanted to try cake from here. Thank you for buying it." Nina exclaimed with joy, and Julian smiled sheepishly. I was confused, muttering to myself as I looked back and forth between them. "Julian, did you buy this cake? Why?" Julian, appearing flustered, said, I just happened to run into Nina near the office. She said she wanted to see our place, and I thought, why not pick up a cake on the way? Just by chance. All by chance. I felt a sense of discomfort as Julian repeated the word chance. Sis, I'm starving. Can you whip something up for me? Please? Nina looked at me with puppy eyes. All right, just wait a bit. Sighing, I decided to start preparing dinner. Peeking into the cake box before cooking, I saw one piece of cake, Nina's favorite from her childhood. Julian doesn't like sweets and never eats cake. I felt a little happy, thinking he had bought it for me too. While I was making dinner, Julian and Nina were chatting away happily. Honestly, I was surprised. They had only met a few times, including at my wedding, and yet they seemed to have become so close. At dinner, Nina cooed. There's something I wanted to ask you today. What is it? I asked, a bit wary. I'm going on a trip with my friends soon, and I don't have a bag to take with me. Can you buy one for me, sis? She pleaded. Huh? Nina, you have plenty of bags. There's no need to buy another. I responded with a frown. But all my friends will have the latest designer bags. It'd be embarrassing if I'm the only one with an old bag. Please buy it for me. She implored dramatically. Nina, you have a part-time job. Use your earnings to buy one, I said firmly. But Nina, with teary eyes, persisted. But my part-time money will all go to the trip expenses. Your company pays well, right? It wouldn't hurt to give a little back to me. No matter what anyone says, I'm not planning on buying Nina that bag. Julian keeps preaching about saving money, and if I buy my sister a designer bag, can you imagine what he'll say? While I was pondering this, Julian suddenly declared, All right, then I'll buy it for her. Wow, really? Julian, I love you! Nina was ecstatic, practically jumping for joy. I was so surprised. I wondered if I'd misheard, and asked, You're kidding, right? Julian, are you serious? Of course! It's just a little something for my adorable sister-in-law. A brand bag or two was nothing. I looked at Julian's profile, full of vim as he said this, with a feeling of disbelief. In the end, we promised to go bag shopping together on the weekend, and Nina left with a leftover cake firmly in hand. I had my reasons for feeling uneasy. Just a few weeks earlier, I had received a wedding invitation from a junior at work. Julian, there's a junior's wedding coming up, and I was thinking of buying a new formal dress. I had barely started speaking when Julian cut me off loudly. There's no need to buy new stuff for such occasions. It's a waste, complete waste. I thought of buying a new dress since more and more people around me, friends and colleagues, were getting married. I planned to use my own savings and didn't intend to buy anything expensive, but after being told it was such a waste, I couldn't say anything more and gave up. He had been so blunt with me, yet he was willing to buy something for Nina? A few days later, Nina and Julian came home, showing off the brand bag they had just bought to me, who had arrived home first. Look, sis! Isn't this bag super cute? I fell in love with it at the store. Julian bought it for me, Nina said joyfully, hugging the bag. I told him not to buy such an expensive one. I'm kind of sorry, sis. Nina apologized with an exaggeratedly innocent look. How much was that bag? I asked quietly, careful not to show my irritation. $2,000. Nina said with a smug look, and Julian wouldn't meet my eyes, perhaps feeling awkward. I held myself together until Nina left, then shook with uncontrollable anger, alone in the bathroom. They had gone shopping without telling me, spending $2,000. Julian wouldn't even look happy when I bought socks that cost less than $10. I was so angry I felt like I could explode. From that day on, Nina started coming to our house frequently. Julian was always in a good mood when Nina came, talking to her as if I was invisible. He treated me like a housekeeper, having me prepare meals and run errands for whatever Nina wanted. One night, at my limit, I told Julian, "I'm going to ask Nina to stop coming over for a while." "Why? Nina looks forward to hanging out here. It would be cruel to say that." Julian retorted, "It's cruel, but when I come back tired from work and have to cook for Nina, do the shopping, it's tough. You two just chat away, but I get complaints about my cooking and have to redo it. Plus, ever since Nina started coming, it's been costing us so much. Julian, you always talk about saving when it's just the two of us. But with Nina, you buy her anything. Julian, something's not right." I finally spilled what was on my mind. Julian, with a smug smile, said, "Are you jealous of Nina? That's so unattractive. I'm just being nice to her because she's my sister-in-law." With that, he left the room. Even after Julian's words, I told Nina that her frequent visits were becoming a problem, so our house was peaceful for a few days. Then trouble struck at my company. My boss said I needed to go to the site immediately to deal with it. I hurried home to get ready, texted Julian about the sudden business trip, and left. When I arrived at the site, things were hectic, and since I had to stay overnight, I went to drop my bags at the hotel. That's when I saw two people laughing and holding hands at the hotel entrance. It was my husband and my sister Nina, looking every bit the happy couple. They didn't notice me and went into the hotel, seemingly checking in, and they didn't come back out. I was dumbstruck, forgetting to even breathe. Was what I just saw real? I couldn't trust my eyes, so I called. "Hello, Julian? Where are you? What are you doing?" I asked with a trembling voice, and he snapped. "What do you mean, what? I'm in an important business meeting at the company. Don't call me at work." And he hung up. Just before the call ended, I heard Nina's cloying voice in the background. "Who's that? Come back soon!" I knew everything then. I didn't go into the hotel. I went back to the job site and tried to focus only on work. After finishing the day's tasks, I booked a room at a different hotel and was in a daze for a while. My mind was spinning with questions of why and what this meant. I called someone to make sense of my jumbled thoughts. While sharing everything, I gradually started to calm down. Then I made several more calls, resolved to clear everything up the next day. Early the next morning, I went to the hotel where I had seen my husband and Nina, and everyone was already there waiting for me. My in-laws, my parents, my brother, and my uncle. Despite the early hour, they had all come after my call the day before. I called Julian. "I know everything. Come out to the hotel's front entrance, now." Minutes later, Julian came out alone, looking flustered, and was surprised to see everyone there, not just me. My brother Trey simply said, "Take us to Nina's room." Without a word, Julian led us there. When we opened the door, there was Nina, nonchalantly lying in bed in her underwear. Seeing us, she wasn't the least bit ashamed, and sleepily asked, "What? What's going on? Why is everyone here, including my brother and uncle? What are you two doing?" My voice shook. "Oh, come on, sis. You know what's going on, right? Sorry, okay?" Nina said with a smile. Suddenly, Julian turned to everyone and began to deeply apologize. "I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. Nina didn't do anything wrong." "Julian, what have you done?" Jeffrey, my father-in-law, stared at him in disbelief. "Lynn, sorry, but this isn't what it looks like. We were just..." Julian kept apologizing. "Just what? You were cheating with Nina, right?" I said, my voice still trembling. "What are you doing to my sister? You're just kidding me!" My brother was furious, grabbing Julian by the collar. "Stop it, big brother!" If I hadn't intervened, my brother looked ready to punch Julian. Amid the tense atmosphere, Julian made a shocking statement. It's not what you think. Nina and I truly love each other. It's real love. We just met late, but our love is pure. It's a noble love. Don't reduce it to mere infidelity. Julian's declaration was met with my brother's incredulous response. What? Are you serious? Cheating is cheating. Julian, you just married Lynn. How could you do this? Don't be stupid. Apologize. Jeffrey held Julian's head down, pressing for a deeper apology. Mother-in-law Cassie also apologized profusely. I am so sorry for my son's behavior. Julian, explain yourself properly. How can you claim it's true love when you hurt my precious daughter? What is Nina thinking? What do you plan to do now? My dad was openly furious, but Julian confidently said, I really do love Nina. No one can tear us apart. I'm sorry, Lynn. Please give up on me and let's divorce. I'll build a happy home with her. Right, Nina? I was speechless, stunned. Then Nina, who had been silent, blurted out, That's so annoying, and continued, It's not like it's true love or anything. I was just with Julian because he said he would buy me stuff. What? Nina, you said you truly loved me, right? Julian clung to Nina, but she calmly replied, I meant I loved the stuff you bought me, and I already have a boyfriend at college. Right then, Nina's phone rang. Oh, my boyfriend wants to meet. Gotta go. Bye-bye. She dressed quickly and left. We were left speechless. Nina? With the supposedly true love Nina gone, Julian stood there, dazed. Eventually, Julian and I got divorced. After marrying me, it seems Julian randomly visited a cafe where Nina worked part-time, fell for her sweet, affectionate demeanor, and started visiting frequently to date her. For Nina, it seemed Julian was just a convenient source of gifts, and she quickly dumped him. However, Nina's actions caught up with her. Her boyfriend saw all the gifts from Julian, suspected cheating, and dumped her harshly. Rumors spread in college about her stealing her sister's husband, and she faced cold stares. I demanded compensation from Julian and Nina. Since Julian was an employee at a client company of mine, the news of our divorce due to his affairs spread quickly, making his work environment unbearable, leading to his resignation. Moreover, he had accumulated considerable debt buying things for Nina, and is now juggling multiple jobs to pay off the debt and compensation. Julian's in-laws cut ties with him due to the debt-ridden situation. Nina is working part-time diligently, every day after college under her strict uncle to avoid fleeing without paying the compensation. My parents and brother have completely cut off contact with Nina. As for me, I never expected Julian to be that kind of person, but I'm relieved we separated early. Now I'm focusing on my work and moving forward, bit by bit. Guess I need to improve my judgment of men, huh?